Megan has been trying to get on her way to a Dunkin' Donuts and shoveling her way there. Yep. Did you make it to the vehicle yet?
No. We're making progress. A quick recap. Iced over fence. Look at that. See the ice on there? Couldn't get through this one. We are smart and we made it through a different gate. We've been working through the driveway again. For those of you just tuning in, driveway's not too bad in Carroll County. We've got a lot of snow buildup right here. I was worried about the ice underneath it. And we're not seeing that. But the one thing, if you have a bad back, this is going to be brutal. So make sure you take some breaks here. It's sticking in there, just showing it's going to be great snowman making snow. But if you're shoveling, good golly, it's not going to be a very easy suit. So clearly I've got some work to do to get to Carissa's car over here. Carissa is my photographer. She drove here from Baltimore City. And I want to show you something. We're going to make our way down the driveway a little bit to her car because she actually broke her ice scraper on her car this morning trying to scrape it off. So although the city might not be seeing the snow, they're certainly dealing with the ice. And now her car has been in the driveway here for several hours, since 2 a.m. And look at this. She still has thick ice on the corners of her windshield right there. So look at that. Oh, look. That's a good one right there. So if you've got a good ice scraper, you're going to need it here this morning. Clearly, hers was no match for the ice that she found on her car, let alone here in Carroll County, the snow. So we've got some work to do to get her out of this area. Next up, when we see you guys, the goal is to get to some neighborhood roads and see what they look like, because we're a little worried that we might need to allow the road crews to get out and treat them before we make our venture to Dunkin' Donuts. Here we go. It's going to be some time. Again, take breaks. This is heavy stuff here, guys. We were on our quest to go get some Dunkin' Donuts, and I'll tell you what, end of driveways. Check this out. It's just sledding down here. We wanted to see what we were in store for as we try to make our way. Wow, this is actually kind of fun. I'm going to end up getting myself hurt. We wanted to see what we were in store for, of course, as we are trying to make our way to Dunkin' Donuts. One thing you're going to notice here, many parts of Carroll County, it was garbage day yesterday. They did not come to pick up the garbage. I haven't heard anything on if they're going to be coming tomorrow, but that's something that we certainly noticed yesterday. Looking at the roads here, looking pretty great. These guys have been out working. You can see the huge snow mounds over here, though. Looking at about 7 to 7.5 inches of snow here. And feeling right now, it's still pretty icy underneath this. Again, it's shoveled off, so you're going to be able to get through these roads. But this is, one of the busier roads here. And that is, look at that. That is a sheet of ice here. Wow. Okay, so although they're plowed, you've got to be careful out here this morning. I am literally just sliding down the road here. My goodness. Sunny, I think, is in her glory, but for anyone who has to drive in this is not the time to go do this. I think Carissa, who's my photographer this morning, this is not the time for us to venture out to Dunkin' Donuts. Well, we got to let these guys come out and try and ice this.
So when I drove in this morning, that's pretty much what it was. I went down 140 and I stayed right about the 20-mile-per-hour range. I didn't go far beyond that because even though it's plowed, like you said, it's nice and flat. It is still very slick.
It's a sheet.
Yeah.
A sheet of ice out here. And again, kudos to all the crews who have been working through this, because you know, if anyone here in Carroll County, Patrice, you know this, it was very rare that there was ever a stopping point. When the snow stopped, we saw the freezing rain, and then after that, you just had the sheet of ice. These guys have been great, though. It's going to give him some room. Oh, Sunny does not like the trucks.
There were a lot of crews out. There are a lot of crews out, so that's the good news. But like you said, that sleet came down. We were sitting on the couch watching Christmas movies, and we said, we had to put it on pause. We said, what is that noise? It's so loud. But it was the sleet hitting all the windows.
And they were, chunks about that big. It was sticking to Sunny's fur when we brought her in. We usually wipe her down, and you could see the ice pellets all over her. She is so concerned with the plow truck here. Sunny, this is good news for us. And our quest to get coffee, proven to be a little more difficult than we thought. We're going to test out a theory that might make this issue a little easier.
And she's been trying to dig out to get you Dunkin' Donuts. You haven't made it past your house, Megan.
No, it's always so pretty when the snow is coming down. This snow, after that freezing rain we had after the snow fell, 7+ inches here, it has compacted. I mean, look at my bush sagging down right here. I've turned on the Christmas lights, hoping to do like a heat influx to help melt it. But here's the other issue we've run into. As you're plowing it, it's sticking. So we had a viewer call in and give us a tip because this has been making our coffee run very difficult. The person said, use a little cooking spray, and that's going to help it so it doesn't stick. I don't have cooking spray, but I've got some vegetable oil. Let that soak in. Let's see if this works, because this could really be something that could help a lot of folks heading out this morning, because it's been hurting my back. All right, so not bad. Still sticking a little bit. Maybe it has to be the cooking spray exactly. I don't know. Definitely better than it was. Carissa, what do you think? My photographer behind. You think it's working?
I think a little bit. You might need some more oil.
Maybe we need more oil. The good thing, although this is really heavy, underneath this, there isn't ice for your sidewalks that you're shoveling and your stairs. But if you were tuning in during the last hit, you saw the roadways. And although the crews are doing great, really clearing them, there's a lot of ice down there on the road. So Chris and I are prepared to eventually get our coffee, but we know this is going to take some work, and we're going to let the crews work on the roads a little bit more too. Give yourself some breaks, guys. This is tough stuff. It's heavy. And we're hoping for no icy roads. We are paving our way to try and get some coffee here this morning. We're going to take a look at some of the neighborhood roads here in Carroll County coming up. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. We are in the car, and I am regretting this decision. This is, again, some neighborhood roads right here in the Manchester area. We've seen the crews out plowing, but look at this. Remember when I was really ice skating down the road? That's what it feels like. You can certainly feel the car kind of gliding along right here. So we're watching our speeds, again, trying not to brake. We know that's the worst thing you can do when there's ice like this out here. But take a look at that sheen here. And we had about 7.5 inches of snow here in the Carroll County area, the Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester area here. What I'm really anxious about is to stop right here. It was that freezing rain that really compacted this. And let's see how we stop. Hey, I'll tell you what. That was pretty quick. Or you know how sometimes when you pull to the stop sign and you can feel it slide, that came to a right stop right there. So that's not too bad. We've got some people waking up and starting their day here. Again, Carissa, my photographer, and I, we are on a mission to get to the Dunkin' Donuts in Upper Coast. So we're going to be hitting Route 30 to see how that's shaping up. Right now, you can see these cars in the driveway still covered. We've got some folks now starting to shovel out here this morning. This is going to be tricky. And the big thing is just how heavy that snow is. We had lots of tips and recommendations on how to keep that from happening. One woman writing in and telling me, keep the shovel outside because when it's cold, then you won't have that sticky like I was having earlier this morning. So I did what my husband is not going to be happy of. I pulled out of the driveway in this car with all the snow there, which is going to make it even harder to shovel later. But you got to do what you got to do when you're trying to get to Dunkin' Donuts. This stop sign right here, this gets people a lot because it's on a hill. Let's see how we do. Guys, I'll tell you what, so far so good here. This is the Manchester area. Again, just a look at what you can expect as you head out your door this morning. If you make it to this point, again, we had to get through a frozen fence, we had to get through the driveway, and we had to make it into the car to get to this point. But I can taste the coffee. I think we're almost there. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Since 4 a.m., we've been on a trek to get some coffee, and we are pulling into Dunkin' Donuts. We'll let you know how the commute was getting to this point. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News. All local, all morning.
Victory.
Victory! We did it! It was not easy, and you don't want to hear it from me, my trials and tribulations. Mark has been through it. Mark, look at your car. What's it been like for you?
Once I got out of my driveway, things were fine. I mean, the roads are pretty clear, all things considered.
Driveway's still pretty slick.
The driveway's pretty slick. I had to dig myself into the car before I dug myself out of the driveway. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, we appreciate you taking time to talk with us. Yes. Be careful out there. And taking a look at Mark's car. Yeah. If you don't mind, Mark, I'm going to show them ice right here as he revs it up for us. We've got ice covering these cars here. The Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, we set out on a mission to get here at 4 a.m. We shoveled out. We got through an icy fence. And we made it here in the parking lot. You can see pretty slushy. I want to show you, though, Route 30 over here. You can see parts of pavement. We didn't have any trouble coming from the Manchester area here to the Upper Co area, right on the Baltimore County, Carroll County line, but it's cold. One last thing to show you. Take a look at those telephone poles. 19, 20 degrees. At this point, we haven't heard of widespread power outages in this area, but you can see the weight pulling down on them. Maybe just pour some hot coffee over top and enjoy, guys. This is the sweet taste of victory right here for my photographer, Carissa and I.